Hi, welcome to Jade Gaming. I'm Adam. Today I'm going to be unboxing the Magic the Gathering, it's the 2014 Core Set Deck Builders Toolkit. I haven't done any Magic on the channel yet. Now, I started playing Magic, it's probably been 12 years-ish. It was back 7th edition. I think Torment was the first booster pack, which was, the advanced back then. They had them separated out. I learned on the 7th edition starter set that came with 2 partial decks for you to, if you didn't shuffle them, they taught you as you went. So that's where I started playing the game, and I've been on and off. For a while I was really into the game. Then I went away for a few years, got really back into it, and I think it's Innistrad. Got like a booster box and bought like back at whatever edition that was, about like 4 of the Deck Builders Toolkits. But Magic's not the easiest thing to do a video on. It's because it's either completely random, or it's so set as to what's there and available that you could just go online, look at the deck list, and see what every card does. But this is, this is something that is ultimately sort of an interesting mix. It has a set. It has the lands it's set with. It has some boosters. So those are completely random. It has, the little guides and things like that, which are, can be cool, especially if you are learning or you're just getting back into it. And then it has 125 semi-randomized cards. And basically, from what I recall, the way that it was when I did it, which was, I think, the 2011 or something like that, 2010, one of those Deck Builders Toolkits. For those, it was, since I got several of them, I found out, you could get, there were essentially little packs of cards, and if you got like the same one, then it was, that entire pack was all the same cards, but it was sort of random which one of those sets of, I forget if there were 50 or however many cards were in them. But anyway, so we're going to check out what it is. I mean, ultimately it's more than just the cards in this toolkit as well. Cannot remember her name. We got one of our planeswalkers on the front. I don't believe I've gotten anything from the 2014 set. It's been since Innistrad that I've gotten any Magic cards at all. So first you got, of course, the sleeve, which has the contents, etc. Then we get the box. Magic the Gathering. Cannot remember her name. Ooh, but they have the art from her both on fire and not on fire. So you open the box, it's just black inside, and it has a piece of cardboard, which I've actually kept on the ones that I have. They're good for spacing things out. We'll go over these before the cards. It has a couple of these little fold-outs. This is the How to Play guide. It has sort of the overview here of the battlefield, essentially, what the different mana types are, what you need to play. Then it goes over on the back, basics for getting started, combat, attacking, and blocking. They have an example of combat, casting spells, turn order, parts of the card, different card types, land, creature, sorcery, instant, enchantment, artifact, planeswalker. And we got a glossary. So that's good if you are just learning or you're teaching someone. This probably, that really with Magic it's not the easiest to learn on your own. You can't play it on your own. So really it's great to, if you get with someone to teach you, it's a good start for that, just as far as knowing the basics. And then we also have the Deck Builder's Guide, which has tips for what they say makes the best deck. And they say step 1 is to sort your cards, which that's my favorite part of Magic anyways, is organizing cards. I have boxes and boxes of organized cards. It's great fun. Find your good ones. Think of options. Focus. I don't do that often enough. I like to have too many goals for my decks. Add lands. Play and refine. Then they give suggestions for different types of deck. Life Gain, Counterburn, Slivers. I guess that means Flying by Skies. Red-Green Aggression, Library Depletion, Sacrifice, Tokens, Red-White Swarm, Mana Ramp, Black Control. So they give sort of ideas for different themes to go with on your deck. Which again, if you are just new and figuring it out, it's great to just have someone pointing you in a direction to look at. So after those, we have these sets here. And we have boosters. Which none of them are from any set that I have. So, those will all be new cards to me. Anyways, first I'll just go over this first pack. And for video, I gotta say these are lovely because they have this little whole ribbon. Makes taking them opening them so easy. One thing that it has 100 lands. And essentially, they're not necessarily in order. But ultimately, what it turns out to be is it's 20 each of plains, islands, swamps, mountains, and forests, each repeating the art for each one to get to it from the 2014 set. And that's really one of the things that really is, especially for just if you're wanting to build another deck, and you've already have. It's great to just get a boost of land, so you don't have to disassemble decks in order to build a new one. That was always one of the things that I liked about it. And then we get, I was talking about these. Not exactly sure how many, but essentially two of them are the same size as each other, and one of them is a bit smaller. And those are what make up the semi-random 125 cards. So we'll just see what sort of things are in there. I'll start with this one here. It has Pacifism, which I recognize. It's got a card I know. Pacifism. I'm not, of course, going to go through what each of the cards are or do. I'll stop. Ultimately, I'm thinking most of them are common, but obviously, you see here we have uncommon. I have the Sarah Angel and Blessing, which is an enchant creature. Then we get into another color, and there's commons, and there's probably going to be a couple of uncommons at the end of this stack as well. This blue, which you get Opportunity and Skyline Predator. And she can play the spell anytime you could cast an instant. Cool. Into black. More commons again. Some of them I recognize, others I don't. I have no idea if you can even read or see them. But yeah, we get to our destroy target non-black creature and corrupt sorcery. We get to red. Okay, so obviously from there, since we're still in the middle of red, it would lean on to this one here with red in the front. So then if we carry on, we get to our uncommons for red. Better Snipe. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Not bad. And Flames, the firebrand, deals 3 damage, divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures and or players. We get the green, of course. As I said, it's been since Innistrad since I've really done much, so I haven't looked at much as far as Magic for a while. Like Flash is familiar, but I don't know if I ever used Flash to play on any cards. But giving a creature +2/+2 until the end of turn when it comes into play, obviously a reason to use Flash. And then a sorcery that puts a 2/2 green wolf creature token into the battlefield for each forest you control. That could be good, especially since you have to have 7 mana to do it, so you're probably going to have quite a few. Artifact creature. Sliver construct, I guess it would just take on the effects of slivers. Oh, and I guess here are the rest of the lands to make up that total amount that I pointed out before. So, there's that. So I guess the lands are split between a couple of the packs. So obviously one of your packs is going to have some more lands in it as well as cards. I mean, they really are semi-random for these parts here. And here's another land we get here. It enters tapped. And you must pay to put it in. And you can get a mana of any color for tapping it. And we get whatever, another uncommon, a 3/3 for 2. Human Shaman with some abilities to give creatures trample and turn a land into an elemental until the end of turn. This thing has trample and blood rush. Pay 1 red and 1 green and discard this creature. A target attacking creature gets +4/+4 and gains trample until end of turn. 100% on blood rush. I guess that's a common one in whatever set that is. An enchantment to give yourself more attack. See, another blood rush. See, here we get quite a few. What are reds and greens? White and blue. Detain. When it enters a turn, detain target non-land permanent your opponent controls. I've not heard that term before. Until your next turn, that permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Alright, cool. I mean, it's nifty to do, but that's just newer than when I've played. Making flying creatures cheaper. And a flying creature that can let you tap other flying creatures, so it's harder for you to be blocked. Flying and vigilance. Yeah. No, I'd have to read through that how to play in order to get back into the game. Blues and whites here. Another one of these lands. Put a 3/3 green centaur creature token into the battlefield and populate. Put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of a creature token you control. Another putting a centaur out. Putting an ooze. So you get some creatures. Some more commons. Some uncommons. Etc. So that's what the semi-random that's 225 because it's the lands and then the 125 semi-random cards. And then we get 4 that really are just random, and those are booster packs, and they're fun. So these ultimately don't really represent what you would get at all, but I'm going to show them off anyways, because I just got some new cards, and they're where the rares are ultimately going to be, since there are no rares in the semi-random. So I don't believe there ever are. There certainly weren't in mine. Oh yeah. So, of course, the commons up in the front. We get an uncommon, Millstone. Target player puts top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Could be fun. Nice blue deck. Dealing damage to creatures with flying. Dragon Egg. It can't attack, so it's like a wall. Only now it's a defender is what they call it, so they can be more whatever. When it dies, put a 2/2 red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield that has pay 1 red. This creature gets a +1/+0 until end of turn. Okay. Okay. There's, I don't know if that's just normal uncommon or if that's whatever the new super, or the normal rare, if that's the whatever the super rare. I'm color deficient. But Thorncaster Sliver creatures you control have, whenever this creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. I got a shiny one here. Nightwing Shade. An island and an advertisement. They like to put in there now. So, I mean, that was from my 2014 core set pack. I got one from what's called Dragon's Maze. Let's see which gets Defender. Alright, the commons. Alright, the uncommon, I get a Jelen Sphinx. I think that might have been one of the ones I had in there. Okay, whoa. First off, that's printed off center. There's way too much margin over here and not enough over here. That ran off center. The next one did too. Whoops. But wow, I haven't seen this kind of cards in a good number of sets where they're side by side. Let's see. Okay, and I can play both. Okay, but it's, yeah, so for 1 cost, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature. And for 3 blue, remove all +1/+1 counters from target creature you control. Draw that many cards. Okay. Alright, weird and off-center. I wonder if... whatever. Another off-center. Putrefy. Destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. The rare. It's a legendary creature. Teisa, Envoy of Ghosts. Vigilance. Protection from creatures. That's good. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, destroy that creature, put a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. That's very good. A land and advertisement. Part of me wonders if those off-centers might be worth something on eBay. They're misprints. So, I'm going to have to try and find that out. Doubtful, but it'd be worth looking it up. If you know, let me know. I never say it, but feel free to comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. So we got our Ravnica, which I love the packaging on these. I love blue. Blue's pretty. So we get our commons. That's a weird creature. Commons. Right, uncommon. Rites of Reaping. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Another gets -3/-3. Azorius Justicar. Human Wizard. When it enters the battlefield, detain up to 2 target creatures your opponents control. Nivik's Guild Mage has some things you can pay mana to draw a card and discard a card, or copy target instant or sorcery spell you control and choose new targets for the copy. Then our rare is Guild Feud. Enchantment at the... that's wordy. You read all that? At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent reveals the top 3 cards of his or her library. May put a creature card from among them into the battlefield, then puts the rest into his or her graveyard. You do the same with the top 3 cards of your library. If 2 creatures are put onto the battlefield this way, those creatures fight each other. Cool. I got, instead of the, or rather on the other side of the advertisement, I get a token. I love when that happens. And then an island, basically. I like the tokens. They are fun. And one last pack in here to complete the goodies. And this is from Gate Crash. Alright, so our commons. Uncommon, Murder Investigation. It's an enchant creature you control. Oh, aura. They used to be just enchant creature. Whatever. When enchanted creature dies, put X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens into the battlefield where X is its power. That could be useful if done right. Orderoon Veteran, Minotaur Soldier, Battalion. Whenever it and at least 2 other creatures attack, it gains double strike until end of turn, which means it deals both first and regular combat damage, so it really deals its damage twice. You get Smog Elemental. It's flying, and creatures with flying your opponent's control get -1/-1. And then Treasury Thrall. It's a thrall with extort. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay a white or a black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain that much life. Whenever it attacks, you may return target artifact, creature, or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Cool. An island and no advertisement. So there's both the random, the non-random, and the semi-random cards, as well as the how to play and the how to build a deck pamphlets that were in this. It also has, of course, the nifty box with our Planeswalker images on it, which is just a great storage box, which, because it has the piece of cardboard stuff in there, essentially you have more space to store more cards, because of course they want you to go buy more cards. If you've never played Magic and you have a local gaming store, there will be events for Magic. That's one of the biggest things. So a lot of them do, and you can always go up there. You'll find someone that'll teach you how to play. It is a fun game, but it can be expensive if you get into really collecting a lot, or trying to build the perfect deck where you look it up online and you research it and you decide, all right, I have to get this many of this card. But if you can just get a few buddies around and play every so often, it's fun. It's a great time. And if you are looking to, either get back into it, or just start collecting, then the Deck Builder's Toolkit is a good way to get. If you don't want to just get a pre-made deck, because those can be boring, and you want to make one, but you want to make sure you get the cards to do it. It was, I think, for me, I think I paid $20. You might get it a little cheaper online, owing to where you might find it. But it is a great way just to get a bit of a collection where you can make 1 or 2 decks pretty easy. Two color decks, simple. You'll definitely have the cards you need. You could probably make at least a halfway decent 1 color deck. But, check out, the Deck Builder's Toolkit, or really any, if you've not played Magic, check it out. It's a fun game. It's a great, in between your role-playing games, in between playing D&D and whatnot, it's just a good time killer. And if you end up with a game where the combat runs really long, we've certainly used it where, ultimately where, you're playing a game until it's your turn. When, you know, if you're playing a game of D&D with 9 players, you can have a while between your turns. So yeah, check it out, Deck Builder's Toolkit, and have a great day.